we have very special D-Cooperation. D-Cooperation, it's a decentralized collaboration with the creator and the organizer of the amazing D-App or decentralized application on Steem blockchain that is called D2. So hello.
Hello, Cliffs. How are you doing?
I am very fine. So tell me please again, how can we find you on Steem blockchain?
My username on Steem blockchain?
Yeah,
it's I'm in danger with an H at the start.
Yeah. Is that having any kinds of special meaning, or it's just from your head?
No, it was from a game. It's really old. I wish I took another username on Steem when I registered, but I took this one, so I can't go back now. You can't rename on Steem.
Yeah, that's great. So you like to play games, I guess.
Oh yeah, that was. I have a bunch of usernames I use, and there's really no reason why I use one over the other. It depends if one is taken or something, and well,
yeah,
I don't really care about the username. My friends, they told me Adrian, and that's it.
Yeah. Okay. So tell me please, how did you join Steem for the first time, and how did you find about it?
That was a while ago. I discovered about it. I saw an article on The Guardian. I think it was one of the biggest articles that promoted Steem ever. It was like the first big boom of Steem, but it was when Steemit.com was released. So I saw this article. I was like, oh yeah, this is interesting. Like, how does it work? And so I signed in, and I did. That's all.
Yeah, that's great. So did you do some research before joining it, or you joined it directly?
No, I just joined it. I didn't even understand how it worked at the beginning. When I joined it, I had no idea how it worked. I just discovered that after, like most people, I guess.
Yeah, that's nice. So now you are using Steem blockchain for a while, and you have a decentralized application based on it. So what do you think about Steem blockchain?
Well, I think the Steem blockchain is really unique. I've said that many times in my blog articles, but Steem is probably my favorite blockchain. I used to only deal with Bitcoins before, but now I'm more like into altcoins. I'm more interested into altcoins. I'm less of a stubborn person now. I believe there can be like other applications to cryptocurrency other than currency. So I think it's really interesting now, the space we're in. I think Steem is undervalued. Not enough people understand how it works. A lot of people have misconceptions about Steem. So,
yeah. What is the best thing, for example, you like in Steem?
Well, no transaction fees is obviously really great. But what I really love the most is the social distribution, the concept of distributing the money to people instead of distributing it to robots. I think it's great that we try to give money to people instead of giving it to computers, because the computers, they can't really use the money, you know?
Yeah, not like other blockchains. Most of the blockchains, they have fees. I don't know why.
Yeah, they have fees, and they have like some proof of work mining algorithms or things like that. I think the proof of brain is the most crucial part of Steem. It's what made Steem possible. It's why we have all this community, because, well, they're like, oh, I'm going to give something to this system, and then I'm going to get back. I don't need to run a server. I don't need to be a developer. I don't need to be DevOps or whatever they call themselves now. You can be like anyone and post. You can be in Asia. You can be in Africa. You can post and start making money as long as you make good content and people appreciate it. So I thought that was like a really great idea. And I still believe that. I still believe it's a great idea. That's why I made D2. For me, it's like the foundation of Steem is this. It's the social distribution. The fact that they're trying to distribute money to as many human people as possible, which no other blockchain is actually doing or succeeding. Steem is the best at that. The problem is that we have some retention problems. A lot of people are selling the token. Not many people are investing back into it. So, well, it's been going up and down. Well, you know about it.
Yeah. Do you think Steem has about the future? What do you think about the future of Steem?
That's a great question. I don't know. I think the Steem engine thingy is really great for Steem. That's something I wish I had done myself, to be honest. I knew it was possible to do something like that, but I never invested the time into building something like that. And I'm really happy that Adroad and YabapMap they managed to get this out, because I think it can really like give like second life to Steem if we have all these tokens. And because SMTs, I don't know if they're getting out, you know, like there's not much news and all that. So I think Steem engine and what they're doing, it's not really the same thing, but it's really close. And if they're doing it properly, if there are nodes like everyone can install like a Steam Engine node and things like that, then I think it's going to become really, really interesting. And a lot of people will start using it for their projects. So this might help Steam a lot in the short future because it's already there. You can check it out. But yeah, that's the thing that interested me the most in Steam right now. It's the Steam Engine. And because I think it's a bit stale right now. Like maybe last 6 months, it's been a bit stale. Not many new apps going out, not many new concepts. If we put it on the graph, to see the advancement of Steam, right now it's a bit stale, I think, for the last 6 months. But with projects like Steam Engine, it's giving me a lot of hope for Steam.
Yeah, I think maybe with the Steam Engine, we don't need SMTs, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe we have Steam Engine because we would never have SMTs. I don't know. But it's clearly something which can kind of replace the SMTs because it's, especially if they add the smart contract and distribution part into it, which isn't into it right now. But if they have like something which can basically, you can create a smart contract and write a rule for the distribution of your token, then it's going to be really great. Because right now it's just like a ERC20, it's just like a normal token. You can give it to yourself, and then if you want to distribute it, it's just like a normal transfer. It's not generated out of thin air like Steam, which is what we would want to do for most projects that want to make a SMT most of the time. So yeah, that's interesting.
I see. Okay, let's move to you now, and tell me please about your skills and things that you do well in your life.
What I do well in my life?
Yeah, well, maybe skills or things you love.
I don't have much skills. All I can do is coding, to be honest. But yeah, that's the only thing I know how to do.
So you're great at development, yes?
Yeah, well, that's my job. I mean, I can do cooking, I can do a bunch of things, but I'm not really great at anything. Even coding, I don't know. I mean, probably a little, but
yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a question which is tough to answer for someone who wants to appear humble,
Yeah, maybe. It's just okay. It's just interesting about the development. When do you start to learn about developing and to?
So I don't know. I was a teenager, to be honest. I started coding when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
And it was mostly for fun. When I got to university, I did some mathematics. And after doing my studies, I was like, I want to quit university. At one point, I was like, I want to quit, but I need to work. So I was like, what can I really do? And then that's when I really started doing development. Before that, it was really just playing around. But yeah, after university, I really started programming.
So almost all my life, almost all your life.
Not really, because I'm not that old, so it's okay. But yeah, for 10 years now, a bit less than 10 years, I guess. Yeah. A bit less than 10 years.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about DTube. So how you come with the idea of DTube and how did you start it?
Well, the idea of DTube is not mine. It's somebody called Furion on Steam, which had the idea in the first place. But it never did anything. He did like a bunch of articles and not much coding. And I was like, oh, this is a great idea. I should try it out. I don't know if it's going to work, because a lot of people were saying, oh, this looks great, but it's never going to work. Mm-hmm. Okay. I was like, yeah, actually, it looks like it could work. So I tried it. I coded it on my PC. It was really ugly. Only me knew it was working. But then I decided to commit more time and put out a UI and do everything that I did, because I was like, yeah, the Furion guy is not going to do anything. So might as well take his spot, because I knew a lot of people were interested in that, in video on Steam. I knew there were like, everyone was interested in that. I saw the reactions to his articles and all that. So it was kind of an opportunistic move, I guess. But the guy was not delivering, and he never delivered. So maybe it would still not be there if I didn't do it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Of course. It's also like a lesson for other developers. So when they see some idea, they have to take...
Yeah, I really don't like, people who will say, oh, yeah, I have this idea. I'm making a blog article about this idea. And then, oh, this is my white paper. But they never do anything, It's just blah, 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 blah. I really hate people like that. I really like developers who just don't say anything about their product. And when it's out, it's out. And then they make a big blog article about it, and everybody's surprised. And in the Steam developer community, there's like two styles, basically. It's the people who announce it before and the people who don't. So you know on which side I am. And I prefer people who do it my way because I think it's more honest, you know, like there's no empty promises, you just give something to people and then you see how they react. And if it doesn't work, you throw it away. If it works, you push it. So I think it's the best way to go. Some people are afraid, some developers are afraid of wasting some time, I guess, of coding something that wouldn't work. But if you only make a blog article, and you never know if it's going to work, you know, you really need to get down to coding and try it out and put it in some other people's hands before you know if it works or not.
Yeah, so the most important is the action, not just
writing. Yeah, I think that's why DTube succeeded. It's because basically I went to action. Like I was free for like 3 months. So I wasn't really free. I had some off time, let's say. So I spent my off time doing DTube, and when I just released it, it was my plan, and it worked smooth. So
yeah, that's great. And what are the plan that you have, the plans for the future for DTube? Maybe you have some ideas you can share with us.
Maybe you have some ideas as well. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's a big patch coming up where I did a lot of work. I'm really anticipating the next patch. Maybe a bit scared because there's going to be huge changes. I don't really want to talk about it before it's out for the same reasons that I've given you before. Because I think people might talk about it before it's released and before they actually check it out and know what it's about, you know. So I don't want to talk too much about that. Yeah. But basically, there's going to be huge changes. I think we talked about it in the blog already, but we're going to have our own token soon. I don't want to talk much more about that. There's going to be like a DTube coin. And maybe I can talk also about the upload feature that you tried already, where we're basically going to allow people to post videos from links. I don't know if people will like that. I don't want to go too much into the details of how it works and all that. People will see it when it's out, but basically people will be able to post much more easily than right now. That's our biggest issue. I've talked with people at SteamFest and all that. The biggest issue is like the video storage, the fact that we delete the videos after a while, or the fact that it's slow to load, or sometimes it's painful to upload. All these little things, they're really annoying for people. So I think if we provide like a more easier way to upload, it's going to increase like the number of videos we have and the number of users we have. So that's going to be a big change, I think. So, but I'm not sure how people will do that. Some people in our community, they're really for the no censorship movement, you know. Some people are more in here for the social distribution. Some people are more in it for the cryptocurrency thingy and speculation. So we have like, actually we don't have like one kind of users. We have like many kind of users. So I think some people will be unhappy with the changes, but I think the majority will be happy.
Yeah, the majority is the most important. So, okay, the last question about DTube I want to ask: what are the improvement that the most improvement that you remember from the beginning when you started DTube till now, for example, the improvement that you had?
Well, the first version of the website had nothing. It was like trending hot, the video page. And I think that's it. I'm not even sure there was a channel page on the first version. There wasn't even a subscribe button. The subscribe button wasn't even on the website. So, yeah, the first version I launched was really like not even a beta, you know. It was like, I don't know how to call it, like early alpha or something like that. And yet people love it. So, well, now it's more like a beta or something. But I think like it will improve like really soon. Well, you checked out the demo. I sent it to you, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I can use your video to put a bit of advertisement that if some people want to try these new features, they can contact me on Discord and I can show it to them. We have like a special testing domain to test it. So if they want to try it, they can contact me on Discord and I will be happy to give them access.
Yeah, of course, I will leave all your details under the post in the description, and you send me everything you want to promote. So the last question at all for this interview. So what are the tips that you can give to Steamians to grow and improve?
Well, I don't want to give too many tips because I don't want to have too much competition.
Just the best.
Yeah, you need to network. I've told that to people many times. I wasn't really the best at that myself, and I feel like my experience on Steam actually improved my social skills and my networking skills like a lot. Because you have no choice on Steam. If you don't network, if you don't become friendly with people, if you just act like a dick all the time, you're not going to be successful at all. Basically, a normal Facebook user that ports to Steam, it's not going to work. It's not the same system. You need to make friends with people. You need to contact. You need to join many communities. You need to find people close to you. Like if you try to join a community that is totally opposite from you, it's not going to work. But yeah, networking is the best. And that's why you see that on Steam, there's so many communities like Decooperation, for example. Yeah. But there's like tons of them. Decooperation is one of hundreds.
Yeah.
And that's because people need to act like this right now on Steam. Yeah, you need to, it's a bit sad to say it like that, but you need to gang up. You need to join a gang, and through your gang, you're stronger. So I don't know if it's sad or not, but that's the way the blockchain works right now. And if you want to really extract value and make the most out of your contents, without talking about improving your contents, of course, if you improve your contents, it's always going to be good. But let's say your contents are already top-notch, right? You don't know how to improve your contents anymore. Then clearly you need to network, you need to make friends, you need to watch other people's videos, comment on them, create relationship with people. That's what I did. When I joined Steam at the beginning, I was no one. I had no friend on this. As I told you, I found it on The Guardian. So when I joined it, I had 0 friends on Steam. And now I have many. So that's success, right?
Yeah, and the fact that is a social network, so tells that this tip is one of the best.
Yeah, well, it's pretty obvious actually. Yeah. But yeah, a lot of people forget about it, you know. People who go into Instagram professionally and things like that, they think about numbers, analytics, and this kind of things. Actually, Steam blockchain is much less about like that than other social networks. So yeah, just network. It's real humans. On Steam, it's real humans. On Instagram, Facebook, there's a bunch of robots and things like that, which you can influence through certain techniques. On the Steam blockchain, if you're trying to cheat, people will notice you. You're not going to get the upvote if your content is shit. You know, there's no magic way. So you need to network, you need to make friends and have good content, create connections with people who are doing the same content than you, and they're going to upvote you a little bit. And it adds up so fast, you know, like one person who upvotes you for 5 cents, it looks like nothing. But when you have like 20 friends like that, we will re-steam, and they also each have 20 friends, and everybody gives you 5 cents, then you have $10 on your article, you know?
Yeah, of course.
So that's the way I see it, and I think that's the way it should work. I don't want people to focus on the big upvotes, you know? I think that's the biggest issue people make. It's like, oh, I'm not getting a DTube upvote, or I'm not getting a Foundation upvote, or I'm not getting whatever app upvote. My content is useless, I wasted my time. No, because anyone in the network can upvote you and give you some money. So don't blame DTube, don't blame Foundation, don't blame like the big accounts, because it's not their fault. You could make money without them. Don't be dependent on these people. Of course, it's nice when you get it, I know that, but it's not every time. Like these accounts, they actually have limited power. I saw some people in our Discord recently saying, oh, the DTube upvote should be guaranteed. What? But I don't think these people even know how the system works. Like if we did that, our VP would be like at 1% after 1 day, right? And then we would give like nothing. Every upvote would be like meaningless, would give 5 cents. So that's not how it works. I just think people should network and rely less on the apps. Make connections.
Yeah, of course. And if they didn't get the upvote from one post, they can just create another and another and another, and they will always get an upvote from someone.
Well, yeah, you asked me what is good to do, but yeah, we're talking about what is bad to do actually, right? All these spammers, I think that's also a bad thing to do, right? The people who keep doing the same content over and over all the time, it's not good. I think people should like, even if they know like one type of content works and they're getting like a decent amount with it, I don't think it's a reason to just do the same content tomorrow. Even if it works, even if they get the money because some people will upvote them because they're their friends or something, I think people should switch it up. I don't think the end goal is the money. The money is a plus. The end goal is making human connections and things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, all these people who are from the crypto world, they're thinking like that. They're like, oh yeah, I want to make money on Steam, speculate, make more money, and brag to my friends. So it's not everyone is on the blockchain with the same mentality. So I don't care myself about how much I make on my comments or articles or whatever. For DTube, I care because it gives visibility to the project. But on my personal comments and things like that, really, it's like it's not making much money anyway. I don't, with the current value of Steam, I don't think anyone living like in a Western country would care, you know, because it's really hard to make more than $2 or $3 with a normal blog, you know, without phishing something. So I don't think it's meaningful for anyone living in the USA, for example. It's not going to be a lot of money. Maybe you're going to buy one coffee with it. But yeah, while on the opposite, there's like some poorer countries for who it's like more. So that's a problem in the system as well. But that's because the world is unequal and the blockchain is equal for everyone. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, it's the same like in all other social networks. For example, if you are stuck in only one tag or one community, you will grow very slow. But if you are using a lot of tags, different communities, you will grow much faster. So everybody will know you.
Yeah. Well, most people who are successful, they do a lot of content. One big tip I can give also to everyone is like, do a lot of content. I'm not saying to spam, right? Don't spam. But yeah, if you're making one content every month like me, yeah, people forget you, right?
Yeah.
You need to make like at least once every 2 days. The most successful Steamians, they clearly post like once a day at least, I think. Yeah. Like people like Exile, people who have been here since forever and always successful, you can see like they're consistent. Every day or like at least 4 or 5 times a week, these people, they would like use Steam. No matter if it's DTube or another app, they will use Steam and they will always be here. And yeah, consistency, I think, is key. If you're a content creator, I think it's key. It's the same tip works on YouTube or any other social network anyway.
Yeah, of course. Okay, thank you very much for this interview and for all your tips and for sharing the things from your life about DTube, about Steam.
No problem, man. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you very much for this interview. And I hope everybody is enjoying it. And see you maybe in the future, maybe after 1 year in other collaboration when we have some other DTube.
Okay, no problem, man.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much and see you. Bye.
See you.